It's the third time I'm here now, standing on this place, and it's always nice to be here, Katarina, in those fantastic room facilities as we have here. I'm going to talk a little bit about SaltX technology, and we are, and I should get one of those things also, so I can move the pictures ahead. We are a company-based company in Stockholm here, and we are developing an energy storages. And energy storage is certainly an increasing demand of it. Once we go more and more into renewable energy, we need more energy storages also. And we have a mission, as we have heard all the other companies do have here also, and we have a mission that we are going to make it possible to convert into fossil-free energy sources. And if we do that, we all know that if we come up to a certain level of renewable energy, more than 50–60%, the demand of storages is increasing rapidly, because as we all know, we cannot control the sun, we cannot control the wind. So we have been around for some years, and we have the base technical platform is actually a material that is we call it nano-coated salt. And it's a patent that we have, patent families, a number of them that are covering this. It's a special recipe that with the calcium hydroxide salt, we are making a nano-coating to prevent agglomeration of this energy transferring. We are certainly in a range where we can say that there is a big demand of the storages, and we will make it, we are on our way to make it possible to make the transition toward a fossil-free and decarbonized world. I start with the latest news from us, and this is, once you look on this picture here, you may recall that we talked a lot about the material development in the past. We had this innovation about the material, but along the road we took the decision to go more into a function orientation, a solution of the complete functions, because we thought we find out that we had to do it ourselves, because the salt was actually depending on the reactor that is charging the salt, and the reactor is depending on the salt. So we had to see it as one function. And what we are doing now, the progress at the Stockholm pilot plant, that's in Vattenfall premises in Bollmora, south of Stockholm. It's a 200 kV charging reactor with a 100 kV discharging reactor, and a lot of some silos in between there, and subsystem also. This is actually a cooperation with an Australian company called Carl-Johan for the charging reactor. And for the discharging reactor, we work tightly with a Japanese-owned but Finnish company, Sumitomo Foster Wheeler. And this is really, I think it's what it's all about also, that the new innovation, the new technology that I think we are standing for, in combination with a mature business that Sumitomo Foster Wheeler, I mean, they have been doing reactors for 150 years. And if you could combine them, we have a very much a winning concept. So this plant is actually, as we speak, we are making the first test rounds, and we are see how much we can decarbonize and how much we can carbonize the salt. And we also will see about what we call the round trip efficiency. But it looks very promising, and we will come back with the result as soon as we will have them, of course. Another thing is a collaboration with another mature company, is Alfa Laval, and we've been signing an agreement with them, as well as we did with ABB also in the past, to have the best product and the best competence to make our energy storage solution even more efficient to make the best out of it. And this is very good now when we have this installation in Bollmora in Stockholm. We can go out there, we can make the test installations, and we can try it out. So Alfa Laval is very eager, and so are we, of course, to get this up and running. The third new latest thing from us that we recently sent out a press release about was that we actually have developed some sort of a charging reactor by ourselves. And this is a quite unique thing. If you think about, for 3 years ago when I stood here, I probably talked a lot about the material itself. Now the company has transferred into a much higher added value, so to say, and we are making the function. And the competence and the knowledge that we have now, we have transferred into a new charging reactor that could do higher temperature and a higher power output. And this is something that we have applied for the patent. We haven't got it yet, but we have applied for it. And we are very excited about this because this makes it possible to make our energy storage application even more efficient. What it's also all about is really that we have a unique solution here with this charging reactor, which could make it possible to electrify the industry. Ferroamp was talking about electrification here before me, and it's all about that a lot, green steel, and you make all other things out there. By this innovation, by this reactor, we can electrify some of the industry that are working with a very, very high temperatures and very high output. This is way too early to say about, to tell you about any details about it, but we see that there is a good opportunity out there to do this. So time will tell. Maybe I'm here next time, we will see how it will look like then. But we are very excited about this. And once I look on this picture here, you see that we come from a pure material company into this function-oriented and complete solution. So it's a major step. Some milestones in our company. We went public 2016, and we built the first the EnerStore concept, energy storage. We call it EnerStore. Was actually birth 2017. 2019, we built the first installation in Berlin at Vattenfall premises. A 0.5 megawatt history with 10 megawatt hour capacity, and that was running 2020, end of 2020, and actually a little bit before that also, but it's actually, we used power and to heat it up, and we used heat to put out in the district heating in the Berlin area. Then the plan was actually that we should have changed the technology a bit on this plant, but then the COVID came along, and the factory was closed down totally in Berlin. So we said that we had to do something, and then we had the opportunity to start up to build this pilot plant in Stockholm. So we did that. So that is now up and running with the latest reactor technology. So we are getting prepared now for the pre-commercialization phase in our company. We talk to a number of customers that are interested in this, but we also have the knowledge and we need to actually to create the market in a way also. We had a competition in Helsinki Energy Challenge for some years ago that came in 255 applications, how to make Helsingfors as a carbon neutral and fossil-free city. And we were one of the 4 winners in this competition. So that also shows that the market is not market is getting prepared for energy storages, but they don't know exactly how and where and when it's going to be installed. So I've been, maybe I mentioned this in the beginning, but it's a peak shifting thing that we need to charge the battery in the electrical vehicle, as Ferram said, once the electricity is cheap. Then you want to take it out once it is expensive to levelize the cost of electricity, of course. And also, once you get up to the level of 40, 50, 60% renewable electricity in a country or in a market, you need about 1/5, 20% in energy storage capacity to cover up for the sun and to cover up for the wind. So that makes it, I mean, we have tried so many times to try to see how big is the market out there, but it's huge. Once we come to the stage where we have fossil-free sources, it's going to be a lot of energy storages out there. Not only our technology, there will be a number of other technologies also. But we offer a green, economical, and robust solution where we actually don't have any dangerous or any high pressure or anything that is special. It's pure natural material, the salt, and it's a lot of available on the market out there. Where do we then exist on the market if you make some sort of segmentation on the market? On the x-axis you see the energy capacity, how big is the battery, and on the y-axis you see the storage time. So since we have thermochemical storages, we can store the energy for a very long time without losing any energy, or we can also be flexible to have it more frequent. But we say that we are in the area of 10 megawatt hours, which is quite big. That's where we want to be. And that's why we need a big reactors also, as I mentioned in the beginning. and we say that we need to, the ideal situation is that we want to have between one day until 1 week storage time to be able to get the best business case out of this. Then we have the pumped hydro, which is on the very right-hand side, and the batteries. But the batteries here is lithium-ion battery. You cannot make energy storage with lithium-ion battery once you come up to this size as we are planning for. It's going to be not economically at all. We have 3 areas that we are looking into. We call it heat to heat, power to steam, power to power. And what we mean by that is that we heat to heat, we charge the salt with heat and we take out the heat. And then we have the alternative to heat the salt with power, electricity, renewable electricity, and we take out heat, and also power to power. What we are focusing on is clearly the power to steam area. We know that a lot of the market is talking about batteries, and then it's very often power to power. But 49, almost 50% of the energy demand in the world consists of steam. Steam for the production in the industry, but also steam for the remote heating and the district heating. So the common picture with people overall is that battery is power to power, lithium-ion battery, but the heat, the steam area is as important as the power is. A very important area and interesting area where we have a lot of talks with the end customer is actually the industry, where they are using today, they're using on the bottom of the picture you see today, they're using oil or coal as a fossil fuel, and they store it, oil, and then they are they're burning it once they need the steam in the production. So some of those customers actually have their own energy sources. They have wind or they have PV. So what they want to do now is they want to throw out the oil and put it in with an energy storage. It's called heat storage here in this picture, EnerStore. And you can actually take out the steam whenever you want. So renewable steam on demand. That's a very important sentence to remember. Renewable steam on demand. And that's going to be very, very important, especially in the industry side, and makes it a little bit easier also to replace the existing solution in the industry. How does it look like then? Well, this is could look like the Bollmora case doesn't look really like this, but it could in the future it will look like this, where you have a charging reactor. Today it's the Carl-Johan reactor built on a so to say falling bed technology, and then we have the discharging reactor based on a fluid bed technology, and then we have the storage here, and the storage is actually charged salt and not charged salt, charged salt. And talking about the capacity itself, it's actually depending on how big do you make those silos. The bigger, the higher capacity you will have. So it's actually also that flexible, so you can have one power in the charging and one other area in discharging. For instance, in Helsinki, the challenge was really they want a pretty slow charging over the summer month, and then they want, under a couple of weeks where they had a very cold temperature, they want to have a quick, powerful discharge. So the roadmap for commercialization is really that we are standing on the threshold now to make this pre-commercial. And what do I mean by pre-commercial is actually that we have proven the technology with our own pilots. We want the customer to be part of this pre-commercialization, and we have to build those installations, and then after that we will go fully commercialized after that. Okay, that's about it. Thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you very much, Carl-Johan. Where will you be in 5 years, and what do you need to get there?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. That keeps me awake also during the night sometimes. But I think with the new innovations that we have now, we see a lot of opportunities. I cannot say more than that at the moment, but we see a lot of opportunities. We see possibilities to install energy storage in a wider scale, but we are looking at the moment very much on this renewable energy on demand, steam on demand, where the industry we make it possible for the industry to convert to fossil-free sources. And here we are working very much in cooperation with ABB and some other companies to make this happen, because we have the same interest. We want to get rid of this oil and coal.
You mentioned that there is no shortage of your raw material, salt. But how about other components in your facilities? How are they affected by the situation in the world?
We have, I would say, we have very much under control, but there are certain electrical components that have a very long lead time certainly, and there we have tried to pre-order them even before we have the final design ready for the bigger energy storage as we are planning to build. So we have taken a risk, maybe, to order this before we have the final design. But you're right, some components are lead time of 10 months, 12 months now, which used to be weeks before.
Well, best of luck with your work, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.